Break to it. Hey guys, we're back home again. Came home early again, so I gotta get my stuff out of the back of the truck here. Need the jack. Really don't need this jack to raise and lower the car, but it does a better job lifting than the other jack that I got. That tire went flat the other night. Got a good rim. I don't know if it's a tire issue or what we got going on with that, but I need to get that out of the truck, and of course my air compressor to air that tire up to see, to do a bubble test on it and see where it's leaking at. Alright, we got my air compressor and the tire out of the truck, and one thing that I noticed, because I flipped the tire over, flipping it, getting it out of the truck, is right here. I don't know if we can really get a good view on it, the camera really pick it up or not. Right there, the rim is kind of egg-shaped right there. Not real sure how that happened or anything else along that matter. Okay, I don't know if you can hear it. We'll stick this up here. As expected, this is our trouble area, and that's the spot that I was talking about. It's leaking out right here. So I guess about my best option at the moment is going to be to break the tire off of it and look and see what I really got going on there. I do have some bead sealer, which is tires already got it on there. You know, by the grace of God, I didn't even need any bubble water to check that out, but I don't, the way it's bent there on the, it's actually bent on the bead itself, the way the rim is shaped there. I can try to straighten it out. I don't know if I'm going to be able to, but if not, we'll have something cool to roll a hose up on, I guess. So give me a few. I'm going to try to get this tire down and at least broken off on the back side and pushed out of the way. I don't have a fancy tire machine. I just got a bead breaker that about kill you if you're lucky. It might kill you, but let's get this started. Well, anybody that's ever dealt with one of these tools probably going to say a prayer for me right now, because they know what's about ready to happen here. So it's not one of my favorite tools to use, but sometimes I got to break it out. Well, it's nothing short of a miracle. It actually slipped off the bead the first shot, which could be because the rim's slightly bent, but we're going to probably try to beat it straight here in a second. Gotta go check on the kid. Alright, so what I've done with this rim is I've beat on it. This is the spot that was kind of it was almost at a point, and we did my best to beat on it. It's got a little nick right there at my thumb, kind of pushing in on the edge of the bead. What I'm going to do, and I've already broke down the other side of the tire, is I'm going to goop this on there with some bead sealer. No, it's not silicone. It's kind of like a rubbery, more or less a soft rubber. You can kind of see, well, I don't know if you can see it or not, but when we, it pretty much stays soft instead of hardening up like silicone or something like that. But this is what my tire guy, Baker Repair, they gave this to me, I think last year before last, so I didn't have to keep coming in and having them put it on. So we're going to put some of this on the tire around the bead area. We're going to put it on a little thicker on the back side to help with, hopefully to seal up that one spot, and hopefully it'll hold air this time. This tire's got a, it's a decent tire for stagger, so we're going to try this real quick and see what we end up with. Okay, we got the trouble tire right there. It's sitting there. We're going to give it some time to let the bead sealer kind of do its thing to more or less rubberize it. It's some really nasty crap. You get it on your hands. All right, we painted these two up, and nothing fancy. We're going to take, this is the rim that we are taking the tire off, putting on the other beadlock wheel. I wouldn't mind, I'm going to keep that beadlock on this one here for, right there. We're going to keep that one, the beadlock itself, for a spare. Here in a minute, I'm going to take that off and take that wheel outside actually and get my pressure, everything ready to go. And I'm going to pressure wash that wheel off and try to get it clean and paint it, repaint the wheel. I'm just going to go black with it. But that's next on the list, is getting everything swapped around. This tire here, I'm going to flip it on that rim and try to keep a kid satisfied. Got the baby monitor out here. We better go check on him. I'm going to do a short product plug here. Some of you guys will probably see me do a lot of spray painting. I painted these wheels. You'll see me paint almost everything. And what I use most times is Rust-Oleum 2 times the gloss, or 2 times the coverage. It's got a primer in it and all that already. I used to buy that 97-cent junk at Walmart, and it would take me 5 cans to get this type of cover and halfway decent shine out of it. And this stuff is not even, I painted 2 beadlocks and a mud plug. That's what they call it. But it don't take much to do what you got to do there. So just wanted to throw that out there for you. All right, we got both of the beadlocks that I plan on attempting to use tomorrow mounted, painted, look halfway decent. Mama finally showed up to take care of Daniel. Of course, he fell asleep by the time she pulled in the driveway, but we got the car down on the ground again. We're going to push it outside and kind of spray some of the dirt off. The way it's looking, I'm doing tape numbers tomorrow. Not a huge deal, but we're going to push this thing out and get some of the mud off. We didn't really get overly dirty, but the cleaner you keep it, the better off we are. So, all right, here we go. All right, we got the car clean. We're I'll let it drip dry for a minute. I'm going to sweep this floor up. But first, I'm going to show you why. One of the reasons why I prefer washing my car before we put it up is about ready to drop my phone. All them dirt clods and everything else, and we'll walk out here and I'll show you underneath the back of the car. Uh, big piles of mud. So, sound like cops are going after somebody, but we're gonna get this thing, sweep this floor out and get this thing back in, and I'm gonna take the wheels off and spray them down real good and grind them up. We'll catch you shortly. All right, guys, we're back home. Can't really say it was a bad night at the track, or a bad day at the track, I should say, but definitely wasn't the best for us. We did bring the car home in one piece. A lot better shape body-wise than some of them, but we did have overheating issues early in the day, and we slowly worked our way through that. Just going to share some short clips with you here at the end. I'm not going to show full videos yet, because I was blessed enough to get hooked up with Josh Mathis with Speedway car cams, and he actually set up an in-car camera, kind of gave me some tips and things like that with how to do it on my own, but he's going to send me footage from in-car, and I'm going to try my best to incorporate with what we got out of the car. But just a short recap of how things went. Started the day off with hot laps. Car felt great, getting around the track. Really thought it was going to be a fast. It was really hooking good, and cool out, sun shining, wind blowing. You know, the sun was by the time we got racing, the sun was at the peak of the day, and just not really good conditions for keeping a track moist. So right off the bat, we was dealing with either a slimy track because they were putting water on top of a packed surface, or we're dealing with dust. So that was kind of a bad combination for the rest of the day. Then heat race, we went out. I think I started second row, and it seemed we got going, and then I don't know, about the last two laps, I looked at my temperature gauge and it was starting to climb. Come around for the last lap, it was climbing up about 230, which normally it usually don't climb above 230. By the time we was coming around for the checkered, it was starting to get up closer to 240, 250 area. So by the time we got off the track and I got to my pit stall, it was still climbing, and I shut it off as soon as I could and coasted into my pit stall until I could get the hood off, get some air, get some heat out underneath the hood, and started spraying the radiator with water, getting the radiator cooled down, started the car up, trying to circulate that cooler water out of the radiator. Overall, I don't think we heard anything on the engine. It's still holding good oil pressure. When it's cool, it sounded all right at that point. But what we're going to be doing, when we went out I ended up not finishing very well in the heat race. Got in some of that slime and ended up finishing towards the back. Started on the pole for the B main. First time I've ever ran a B main in 12 years of racing. And started on the pole, had heavy hitters in it, had Mosier and Casey Nations, and supposed to have Chuck Adams, but he ended up pulling on and basically pulling right back off track. And so I had a few heavy hitters in that B main, and I don't know, with a couple laps, I ran door to door with Mosier, and then Nations ended up weaseling his way through, and Mosier spun out, put me up second, starting side by side Nations, and I was kind of proud of myself. He got a good jump, got going right off the bat, and I was kind of sleeping at the light. And he got going, but he never really gained too much position on me until I spun out myself, and that put me to the back, and within a couple laps, I was back up to third. So I ended up transferring to the feature, and The track was dry as a desert for the feature. It was dusty. Dusty, to say it's dusty is probably an understatement. There were points of what little bit I ran of the feature that I couldn't even see my breather. Which brings me to what I'm doing today. Bought me some stuff. I run a K&N air filter. I need to clean my breather, my crankcase filters, and my air filter, and the pre-filter, and I believe my fuel cell breather filter is plugged up as well. That dust was, to tell you the truth, and I'll just show you a little narrative. My helmet sits about right there in my beard, and from here down, I had a dust line in my beard. So that just tells you how dusty it was. I don't know how well the in-car camera is going to show it. I do know that some of the shots from the stands, the Mullet Man was running the camera for early in the night, and I think his brother Kylan ran it for the feature, but that's just how dusty it was. But I ain't going to keep on rambling. Nothing exciting going on. It's Mother's Day. I'm going to jack the car up. I unloaded it this morning. I washed it last night, hoping to have my vinyls this week. I did my numbers out of electrical tape yesterday at the track. But we're not doing nothing too exciting today. It's Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all you moms out there. That's really about it. We're gonna clean some filters, change out my filters, and kind of look things over real quick. I think I'm gonna end up changing my water pump. Something I noticed yesterday while it was flowing. I don't think it's flowing fast enough for what I got. I think the water pump on here is just an OEM, standard flow water pump. This engine started off as a 355 when I had it modified. Now I don't know how old it really was, but needless to say, I rebuilt it. It's 383 now. Tall dome, high compression engine. A lot more work to it, and I don't think this pump is enough to keep up with it, especially when I get to running hard. But that's going to come Friday, later on this week when I get done off the road. Still haven't decided yet. I'm going to talk to my engine builder, see what he thinks, and go from there. But we're going to wrap this up and knock a few things out, try to spend a little more time with family today, and get ready to go for tomorrow. God bless you guys. We'll catch you later.